welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what we feed our animals. We wrongly assume that most of our viewers understand what goes into feeding animals, what exactly we feed them, and so on and so forth. And well, the reality of that is there's a lot of folks that don't, a lot of folks that are new to this, and you know, some of us that have been doing this for a while, we just take those things for granted. We really don't think about it. And so I want to take a minute and talk about how and what we feed our animals. So I'm going to go step by step. We'll start with the goats. We'll go around. We'll show you how we feed them, what we feed them, and go from there. Stay tuned. First animals on our list today to feed are goats. Our goats get a ration of hay. We've really been running low on hay. We're on our last bale of hay, but the pasture's growing in thick, so we're good to go. But every day our goats get, during the winter time anyway, our goats get fresh, or our goats get good quality hay, and they get all stock or sweet feed. Now Coco is still nursing, and she is just starting the weaning process now. Little one will eat a little bit of hay, a little bit of feed. Right now the pasture's looking really good, and so they're getting some nutrition from that as well. But that's what we feed our goats: good quality hay and some sweet feed. The second stop on our chow line is our adult chickens. We have 6 hens and 2 roosters, plus we have another rooster that is, we call him the yard bird because he has gotten out of the fence and doesn't want any part of being back in here. So we feed our adult chickens your standard layer pellets, 16% protein layer pellets. And also, done. Sure. So they get table scraps, things that would normally get thrown away or thrown in the compost bin, we bring out to our chickens. Chickens are fairly simple animals to feed. You just want to make sure, especially with laying hens, you want to make sure that you have at least 16% protein in their diet. And we treat table scraps kind of like dessert. We like them to eat all of their feed first, and then we'll bring them table scraps, because we don't want them to fill up on the table scraps. We want to make sure that they're getting the protein that they need, and they're getting impatient for me to feed them right now. So normally I'm just gonna pour this in the pan, and they're probably gonna eat this. All right, next up to be fed are our juvenile birds. We'll start here with these chicks are about just a little over 2 weeks old, and they are starting to feather out. You can see the feathers on them there. These birds will be ready to come out of the brooder. So all of our juvenile birds, all of those that are not laying yet, get chick starter. From the day that they're put in the brooder until they start laying eggs, they get chick starter. We don't put them on layer pellets until they start laying. Chick starter comes in 2 different types. There is medicated chick starter and unmedicated chick starter. This is unmedicated chick starter. And the reason we're using unmedicated here is because they were out of the medicated when we went to pick it up. There's a big misconception about medicated chick starter. Let me quell the rumors right now. It is not an antibiotic. A lot of people say, oh, it's antibiotics. It is not an antibiotic. It is a coccostat. It is to prevent coccidiosis, which is a bug, virus. I'm not sure what it would be classified as, but it is a virus that causes diarrhea in chickens, and it can kill them, especially when they're young. It can kill them. So usually we go with a medicated chick starter. This is unmedicated. It's your choice. Do your own research, but it's not an antibiotic. It is completely safe. It is completely FDA approved. And so it's not going to harm anything. It is simply just to prevent coccidiosis, which can wipe out your flock pretty quickly. All of our juvenile birds get fed free choice. In other words, In other words, we keep their feeders full and we let them eat as much as they want. Uh, when they get older, when they start laying, then we kind of go by weight. Then we go by weight with how much food that we give them. But as long as they're growing, we let them eat as much as they want to. So we'll just come in here each day, make sure that the feeder is full, and then we'll go out and check on the juveniles, make sure their feeder is full. Here's another thing about chicks. They are bad about wasting their food. You can see down in there, there's a lot of food wasted. This was filled up yesterday. And so you can see the level today. It was probably about right there yesterday when we filled it up. So that's how much feed 10 chicks either ate or wasted. And I'm going to guess they wasted probably about 4 ounces of feed, because I see quite a bit of it laying around there. But that's all we do. We just make sure we keep the feeder full, make sure that they don't run out of feed. We feed them free choice. Free choice just means they can eat as much as they want to. They have a never-ending buffet. They have an all-you-can-eat buffet, in other words. We're also going to take some of this chick starter to feed our California tans, our juvenile birds that are about 2 months old. All right, that's got everybody fed. I'm gonna put the buckets up, and we'll have a little chat about feeding your animals. Guys, in our area in West Tennessee, we've been hit with what is being called a generational rain. We have received, the first round of storms, which came this past Wednesday, today's Monday, we received over 11 inches of rain in our area. So ground is saturated. Creeks are full and roaring, and rivers are full, and we had tornadoes in our area. A lot of people had damage in our area, and our thoughts and prayers go out to those people. And so we're kind of still in the aftermath of the storm. You see, it's kind of a drizzly day today. Today's supposed to be we're supposed to turn the corner today. The sun's supposed to peek out later this afternoon, but it has been a very wet weekend, a lot of flooding going on. And so our ground, our homestead, is just saturated. There are areas that the mud is just, the mud is ankle deep. And so it's been a very difficult weekend to kind of get things done. We've had to hold off on moving some of our animals because there's just no place to move them. Our little California tans are juvenile laying hens that are growing out. We've not moved them. We've been putting hay in there in their tractor to give them a dry place, because wherever we move them, it's going to be just a wet, soupy mess, and we just kind of want to avoid that. So it's been a messy weekend. Not a whole lot going on out here other than just making sure our animals are fed and watered and taken care of. It's just been too muddy to get anything done. What that means is we've got a lot that needs to be caught up with. When it comes to what you're feeding, or when it comes to what you choose to feed your animals, it is a very heated topic. There are people on every side of the aisle that say, you must feed non-GMO, you must feed organic feed, you must do this, you must use non-medicated, you must use medicated. Everybody has their opinion, and everybody is passionate about their opinion. And I realize that for people that are just starting out, that can be scary. And I'm going to be honest with you, and there are people that won't like this. We feed standard, off-the-shelf feed. Our goats eat 12% sweet feed, all stock feed right off the shelf. Our chickens eat 16% layer pellets bought right off the shelf. We don't feed organic. We don't do that. And that's okay. And that's really what I want to get across to you today. Don't let anybody else influence you. You do your research and make your own decision. Don't let anybody put you down because you are feeding organic feed or you're not feeding organic feed. Whether you feed organically or not is your business, is your decision. And yeah, there's going to be people on both sides of the aisle that are going to malign you because you're either feeding non-organic feed or you're feeding organic feed. So make the choice that makes sense to you. For us, it is really about price and convenience. Organic feed is becoming a little more mainstream. So I remember a time many years ago when we kind of did some research on organic feed. The cost would have been 4 times the amount we were paying at that point. So it just did not make sense for us then. Now it's a little more readily available, but what makes sense for us in our situation is feeding off the shelf feed. A lot of people are not going to like that. A lot of people are going to take issue with that. And I understand. It's a personal decision. One thing that we are passionate about when it comes to our animals is making sure that they can behave in the way that God created them to. As Joel Salatin says, honoring the chickenness of the chicken. We try to do that. We try to give our chickens access to be able to walk around in the grass, eat some grass, eat bugs, do all the chickeny things, scratch around in the dirt. We let our goats, we make sure they have browse and all the things that they want. And so we honor the chickenness of the chicken and we honor the goatiness of the goat. So that's what we're passionate about, is making sure that our animals get to live out their life the way that God created them to. That's important to us. That's important to us. And I think it's important to everybody that raises animals. Everybody's got their own opinions about how things should be done. And I don't think there's a right or wrong. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I don't think there's a right or wrong. As long as you are doing your best to be a good steward of the animals that have been placed in your care, then you do what you feel is right. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Give us your opinion. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.